Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is the 2023 Spanish Grand Prix live from Catalonia, Barcelona. Welcome to the stream, guys. As you can see, I'm messing around with the layouts at the minute, trying to find something that works, trying to make it look a little bit better. Yeah, because basically the last 18 months the stream's been done on a laptop, so I've not really had much power at my disposal. But now we're on a proper PC, so I can start to rig up different things. Hopefully the live GPS will work today, so you can see the guys going round, and then obviously the live timings and all that. So I'm just messing around with the layout. It'll probably be a different layout every stream for the next few months until I find something where I think, yeah, you know what, this is the one, and then you know, I can add more graphics and stuff to it. The stream will progress quite a lot in the next, between now and the end of this season. The stream, the way it looks and stuff, should progress a lot as I start to sort of think of new things and add little bits and graphics and news and this, that and the other. So, but yeah, welcome to the stream. Welcome in, Ryan Tune. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully the microphone's on. I've not had time to test anything because I've been messing about trying to get that on the screen and that on the screen and messing about with various things all morning. So I don't even know. I've not even checked if the microphone's on, but hopefully you can hear me. But yeah, effectively this race becomes round 7 with the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Italy being the big getting the big delete a few weeks ago. So this was due to be round 8, but it's become round 7 with Imola being deleted, and supposedly is what I'm looking for right now, is there's supposed to be dark rain clouds coming in and get a bit of rain. Yes, Denver, how we doing, bro? I couldn't stay on late last night because I wanted to be fresh for this. I didn't want to stay up on drunk or till 6 a.m. I was like, nah. Wasn't the night for me, mate, on that. But oh, you had a good one anyway. Yes, Kim, welcome in. Raw Ungovi, yeah, exactly. I've seen you all on there, Sean and Jamser and that flipping Canadian guy. He's a madhead, him, isn't he? I thought, oh, that Canadian guy's on. I thought, nah, I'm dipping out. I can't be dealing with him, mate. Neymar on the grid. In fact, I'm going to put the headphones on, have a listen what's going on. Martin Brundle on the grid. interviewing Neymar. You know what's funny about Neymar? He was a guest of Red Bull supporting Lewis Hamilton. Ah, funny that. That's like being a guest. That's like being a guest of Man City and supporting Man United. Man's been invited to the Grand Prix by Red Bull and supports Hamilton. Legend. But yeah, race starting in about 20 minutes or so. Yes, Kim's here. Yes, welcome in, Farhan. Hopefully the audio's good. Hey, he's mental, isn't he, Kim? Yeah, I can't. Drunkard's not my vibe, but... Martin Brundle on the grid. Packed out grid in Barcelona. Right, so let's go through the qualifying result from yesterday then. It was a bit of a mad qualifying session. We've got a bit of a jumbled up grid. So I think the biggest news was Charles Leclerc getting knocked out in Q1, ended up 19th on the grid. But as I understand it, he's going to start from the pit lane. I think they put an entirely new rear end on the car, and Leclerc in the Ferrari, who was on, I think he was on pole position last season, will start from the pit lane. Charles Leclerc. So Ferrari top and tail in the grid then with Sainz up there on the front row in P2. So we've got a Ferrari at the front, Ferrari at the back. We had the two Mercedes coming together in qualifying yesterday. Bit of a crash that they had coming into turn one. Just a lack of communication. Russell didn't even know that Hamilton was there, and the two Mercedes collided in qualifying, which was absolutely nuts. Something which I've never seen before. And we've got two guys in Perez and Russell who should be much higher up the grid as well. So we're going to have Leclerc coming through the pack from the pit lane. Also, it looks like Logan Sargent's starting from the pit lane as well. Looking at the graphic down there, we've got Leclerc in the pits, Sargent starting from the pits. We've got Perez down in P11. Nightmare. Sergio Perez is having a nightmare, mate. Michael Douglas giving the big compliments to Brundle on the grid. He is good, Martin Brundle. Dipped at 3:30. The music was rubbish, making me freak out a bit. Yeah, I've never been on Drunkard for more than about half an hour. It's not my thing. I've never spoken to anyone on that drunk call. I'll be honest with you. I've never had a conversation with anyone. I just sit there and like, who are these guys? You know what I mean? Sit there for half an hour going, and then I leave. It's not for me. But yeah, we're about 20 minutes out from the start of the race. 10p each way on a horse, called Leclerc 18-1. Well, I hope he does better than Charles Leclerc. Leclerc starting at the back, Kim. So if you'd have put your money on the real Leclerc, you won't be getting much back, I tell you that. Now, the thing is, with Norris starting third and Sainz starting second, they've got to get ahead of Verstappen straight away. I would love nothing more than to see Lando Norris lead into turn one, or even Carlos Sainz lead into turn one, and make Max fight for it in the early stages. Why is that guy starting from the pit stop? Because they've completely changed the car, Kim. And if you change parts on the car, you've got to start from the pit lane. It's to stop people having two specifications of car, so you can't just do qualifying in one specification, then change all the bits for the race. You can't do that. So you've got to have the same car that you qualify in for the race. So nothing can change. It's called Parc Fermé conditions. Nothing can change from the start of qualifying to the end of the race. Nothing can change. So if you need to, something happens to you in qualifying and you need to change a load of bits, you ain't starting from the grid. You ain't starting from your grid spot. You're starting from the pit lane. And so it firmly puts you at the back. Not only at the back, but like 10 seconds behind the entire field. So with Ferrari and Leclerc qualifying 19th out of 20, they've thought we might as well change a load of stuff anyway, because we're starting 19th. Now's the opportunity. Why don't we just change the entire rear end of the car? New rear wing, new floor, new lower beam wing, everything. Why don't we do that now? Start from the pit lane, because we're already starting 19th. So that's what they've done with Leclerc. With Sargent, I don't know. I don't know why he's starting from the pit lane. Maybe damage that they had to replace. I don't know. Yes, Lewis. The race starts in 15 minutes. Starts 2 p.m. UK time, Lewis. Yeah, I'm not going to be here talking about it for 2 hours before it starts. No, it's coming up soon, Lewis. I'm not waffling on for all afternoon. Don't worry. Got Alonso to fish on the podium. If Alonso gets on the podium today, that'd be a mega drive. He didn't a mega drive, like a Sonic flipping old games console. No, but it would be an incredible drive for Alonso to get on the podium here. He starts 8th. It wasn't the best qualifying performance from Alonso, whether it was due to a bit of floor damage he had. He didn't really get the lap hooked up perfectly, but yeah, it wasn't Alonso's day yesterday. It was Lando Norris's day yesterday. P3 in the McLaren. That was the outstanding qualifying performance yesterday. The interview in Lando Norris on the grid now, as it so happens. But yeah, the young Brit starting P3 in the McLaren. He's not going to have the pace over the 66 laps or however many it is. It used to be 66 laps. It might be more now they've removed the chicane, but yeah, it's not going to have the pace over 66 laps, but we'll see what Lewis can do from P4. Stroll, the highest of the Aston Martins, in 5th. Hulkenberg up there in P7. What a qualifying from him. I think you've got to say Hulkenberg and Norris standouts in qualifying. But a few nightmares. Flipping Russell down 12th, Perez 11th, Leclerc from the pits. It'll be an interesting one. Yes, Mitch, welcome in, bro. Love the sim racing video. Yeah, Mitch, what I'm going to do with the sim racing stuff is you only know by doing it. And what I've realised is the live streams of the sim racing is dead, because on iRacing, the races are only every hour and the races might be 10, 15 minutes. So that basically means if I do a live stream sim racing, 90% of the stream is practicing. And I've got to think, would I watch someone else doing that? The answer is no. I would not watch a sim racing stream as someone who's 90% of the time is practicing. So it's not the way. Live streaming sim racing is not the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make videos on the sim racing and create highlights. So maybe let's say I do 10 races over a span of a few nights. I then, collaborate the highlights of all those 10 races and make a 10-minute video or whatever, just to the best bits. But you only learn by doing it, And I did a couple of live streams of the sim racing. Awful. So you got to adapt, and that's the way to do it. So obviously the watch-alongs will be live, but the sim racing stuff will be videos of the best bits, basically, so that someone isn't joining the stream and watch me practicing for 45 minutes driving around the same track just for an hour. It's a bit dead. So you got to adapt and change. So yeah, the sim racing stuff will be videos, and then obviously this will remain as obviously live streams. So that's the way. Yeah, that's the way to do it. So then at least it's an entertaining 10 minutes of footage rather than just me driving around on my own trying to learn the track and, oh, what gear should I be in for turn 4? What gear should I be in for turn 7? Who cares, man? You know, you people want to see the wheel-to-wheel action and the mistakes and the glory and the disaster and the glory and the good. You know, they don't want to see me driving round and round and round and round and round pointlessly. So yeah, that will be videos. Cheers, Mitch. I've got a couple. I've got a green one over there, but and the worst thing. Well, exactly, Kim. That's it. The drama. You know, whether it's good or bad. You know, when someone smashes me into the wall, that'll be on the video. You know, the rages and the, you know, the good and the bad, innit? So yeah, that's the way to do it, because live streaming the sim racing was not good. Unless the only way I would live stream the sim racing would be if it was an endurance race. So it's a long race, like a 3-hour race, then bang, yeah, we'll do the live stream for the. But when it's a 10-minute race and then an hour practice and then a 10-minute race, nah. But yeah, race starts in 11 minutes. Yeah, not long to go now. Yeah, exactly. That's the aim, Mitch. Those are the type of races I want to do on iRacing. You know, I want to have a team and do the 24-hour Le Mans. Have a team and do 24-hour Nürburgring. Have a team do Rolex 24 at Daytona. Though that's why I bought all that equipment. That was the point of it, to have a proper team and take it seriously and do 24-hour races, mate, and stuff like that. That's the end goal. You know, that's the end goal. And when I get there, then we'll do live streams on, you know, 24 hours at Nürburgring, bang, then you've got content. So that's the way. Flavio is here for Fernando. Is he not banned? No, not anymore. He used to be banned from all motor racing, didn't he? Flavio Briatore. On a cheating scandal on the SHT, man. 2008 Singapore Grand Prix for me, my lad. On a cheating one. He's back in the paddock, is he, Flavio Briatore? I do. Yeah, well, that's it, Mitch. If you get a sim rig and that, well, you got to be better than Sean, innit? Joking. But yeah, nah, we'll rig it up, mate. Trust me, I'm gonna move through the ranks on iRacing, like you wouldn't believe. How much is all mine? Too much, mate. Put it this way, I'm racing in the Mazda MX-5 Cup on iRacing. I could have bought a Mazda MX-5 for less than what I've spent on that to drive a virtual Mazda MX-5. Think of that. Think of the logic of that. I could have bought a real one for less than I've spent on that kit. And I didn't realise that. Someone told me that and I was like, yeah, you can get them for about 3.5. Anyway, that's enough about the sim race. I've been waffling on the sideline for about half an hour. Let's get down to get down to business. You got DD, yeah, man. Fanatec CSL DD, mate. With the 8 Newton meter boost pack as well. So yeah, but that's not the real. I'm still going about sim racing. People can be like, what is he on about? But Mitch, the real, where the budget's gone is the pedals. I've gone all out on the pedals. So that's where the budget is. Yes, SHT. Fernando's ready to bounce back after what? I hope so, man. I hope so. It'd be interesting to see how high he can get. What's your prediction, SHT, for Alonso in this one? I think he can get up to about. I don't know about a podium. No, it's all right, Mitch. It's all right. It's just like there might be people clicking on it, they're expecting like me to be talking about real life, and I'm on about, oh yeah, but a simulation rig. So yeah, but yeah, 8 minutes to go before the start of the 2023 Spanish Grand Prix. Podium for Fernando might be a bit tough. I know it might be. It might be. It might be a long. It might be a long shot that Alonso getting on the podium, but you never know. You never know. I think it's more likely Alonso finishes on the podium than Norris. You know what I mean? Um, So let's go through the grid then from back to front just quickly before the race starts. So we've got Logan Sargent in P20. He'll start from the pit lane. I don't know why. Do you know why, SHG? I don't know why Logan Sargent started from the pit lane. Maybe they had to fix some damage, whatnot. Charles Leclerc in P19, but he will also start from the pit lane. So Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari starts this race in the pit lane. Then we've got Alexander Albon, who would be last on the grid in P18. Yeah, Alexander Albon. The thing is, around Spain, it's a chassis track, which means your car's going to get found out. If you've got a bad car, you can't hide it in Spain. In Monaco, you can mask the fact you've got a bad car. If you just, you know, if you drive the wheels off the thing around Monaco, you can disguise the fact you've got a bad car and you can outperform the car. In Spain, you can't hide the fact. It's a leveler for everybody, and it's really shown the Williams to not have as much downforce as the rest of them, and so, you know, Alex Albon can't really do a lot. I saw a shot of the underside of the Williams actually, and it's, compared to the Red Bull, it's so simple, the floor of the Williams. And so Spain's figured him out. Albon can't do anything. He's last on the grid, P18. Yes, Carl, Verstappen engine failure or crash. I mean, it sounds so anti-Verstappen for me to agree with that. But for the sake of the sport, we could do with a Verstappen DNF. I'm not going to lie, man. I mean, we could do with a cheeky Verstappen not finishing the race. Because it's just getting... It's just... It is what it is, isn't it? You know, I've seen the Schumacher era. I've watched every race of the Vettel era, the Hamilton era, and now it's the Verstappen era. I've just got to deal with it, and just... It is what it is. Verstappen's probably going to win 90% of the races for the next 3 years, at least, until 2026 comes along. And that might jumble it up a little bit, but I've just got to accept the fact that 9 times out of 10, it's going to be Verstappen wins for the next 3 years or so. It is what it is, man. You deal with that how you want to deal with that, innit? Just taking me some time to adjust to that. But yeah, where was I? Where was he up to? So I was at Albon, won Williams 18th. Yeah, Magnussen P17 in the Haas. Massively outqualified by his teammates. So Magnussen won't be happy down there in P17. Need different winner. We do need a different winner, Carl. We're crying out for a different winner at this point. Tyre deg factors include quite a lot. Yeah, they were saying it could be a 3-stop race on the build-up, which seems unusual. You know, we've seen 1-stop races around here. I suppose the last 2 corners don't really help tyre deg, but that's good. The more pit stops, the better in my book. So I'm up for a 3-stop race, without a doubt. I hope it is. Yeah, so that's Kevin Magnussen won't be happy. Valtteri Bottas outqualified by Zhou Guanyu again. I feel like that happens more often than it doesn't. Zhou Guanyu seems to be quite good in qualifying, so Bottas down there in 16th. Yuki Tsunoda P15 and De Vries P14. The AlphaTauri's not a great car. They've done okay there in the middle of the pack. They'll be lucky to get a point from there. Zhou Guanyu, decent qualifying P13. Outqualifies Bottas. He seems pretty good in quality. See what I can do in the race. Then we got George Russell, P12, massively disappointing, coming together with his teammate Hamilton as well, coming down into turn 1 in quali. What kind of a mess was that? But yeah, George Russell, he also went off in a flipping exploratory lap to the grid. He went off into the gravel there about half an hour ago. So what's that all about? But yeah, George Russell from P12, how far can he he come up through the pack, if at all. Sergio Perez in the fastest car on the grid from P11. Really the only man that can challenge for this championship. Now, I know there's an outside hope of Alonso, but really Sergio Perez is the world's best hope. If you don't want a Verstappen walkover this season, Perez is our shining light. And for Perez to be down in 11th, coming off the back of a disaster in Monaco, it's just like, dude, he's just giving it away. He's giving it away. Then we got Pierre Gasly P10, not bad for the Alpine, but out-qualified again. Piastri, not bad. Rookie performance in P9 in the McLaren. Both McLarens in the top 10, which doesn't happen every week, does it? Fernando Alonso be disappointed in P8. You know, he'd be lucky to keep his podium streak going from there. But I hope he does. I'll be backing him, seeing how he can make progress throughout the race. Nico Hulkenberg up there in P7. One of the performances of the day yesterday. I think he was P2 in one of the sessions as well. You know, in one of the practice sessions, I saw Hulkenberg was up there as well. I think it was FP2. I was looking at the results going, how the hell is Hulkenberg up there? He's transferred that into qualifying pace. P7, P6 for Esteban Ocon in the Alpine, coming off the podium in Monaco. He's on good form, is Ocon. Lance Stroll, P5, the best of the Aston Martins. Can he get a podium? You know, I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility for Lance Stroll to get a podium today. I'll read the chat in a minute. Lewis Hamilton from P4. He'll be gunning for a podium today as well. Then we've got the top three of Lando Norris. Can he hold on to that? You know, he's almost getting a nosebleed. He's that high up. Lando Norris from P3 in the McLaren. Definitely the performance of qualified yesterday. Carlos Sainz from P2 in the Ferrari. At his home race, even though he's from Madrid, but he's from Spain. That's good enough for me. And obviously, Max Verstappen from pole position. But I think Verstappen is on a different strategy on the medium tyre. Everybody else looks to be on the soft. Well, everyone else in the top 10, I think, is on the soft. Right, we're about to get underway for the formation lap then. Please do drop me a like, guys. It really helps out the stream and, you know, helps out future streams as well. If a lot of people have liked the previous video, maybe YouTube will pick me up and say, oh, you know what? Let's actually get him on the list with other watch-alongs for the next race. So please do drop me a like, guys. It could help start the channel. Because we're not even got off the grid yet in terms of subs and viewers and everything. But yeah, hopefully we can get into first gear and start progressing this season. What else? Please subscribe as well if you're into Formula One. I do watch-alongs not only for this race, if you tune in for the first time, but for every single Formula One World Championship round, as well as most of the qualifying sessions if I'm not at work. So enjoy the race with me. Get in the live chat. Yes, Sync Mine, welcome in. Here we go, yeah. What are we saying? If Verstappen was third in this grid, you would fully expect him to win. If Verstappen was starting from the pit lane, he'd be Bucky's favourite to win. You know, that's just the era we're in at the moment. It is Verstappen era. But maybe the rain can stop him. It's looking a bit cloudy out there. It's getting a bit overcast and, you know, a little bit of rain. They tried to spice up Monaco and it didn't really change the running order, even though I was giving it the full song and dance when it started to rain. It didn't really change much. Will it change much? The rain in Spain is threatening as they get Charles Leclerc's Ferrari ready from the pit lane. Wow. From pole position to the pit lane in one calendar year for Charles Leclerc. Here we go then. We're coming up to line up on the grid for the Spanish Grand Prix. Both Red Bulls on mediums, okay. I feel like the majority of the grid, look at that. So that's the tyre compounds are on. So second down to 10th on soft. Yeah, so it's only Verstappen, Perez and Sargent from the pit lane on the mediums. Everybody else on the soft tyres. That's nice and easy to understand. The softer tyre, if you're new to Formula One, will be quicker, but will not last as long. The medium tyre will be slower, have less grip, but will last a lot longer. So Verstappen's gone for the, I'll be less racy, but I'll last longer. Everyone else has gone for, give me speed at the start, give me grip at the start, give me a quick first stint. So if you're going to beat Verstappen, you've got to pass him early on and stay ahead of him. It's easy to say, isn't it? It's a little bit harder to do. But what you've got to do if you're Carlos Sainz here, Lewis Hamilton, Lance Stroll, you're going to get ahead of Verstappen early whilst he's on the mediums in the first 2 or 3 laps. Stay ahead of him. Here we go then. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the 2023 Spanish Grand Prix is underway. Looks a good start from Max Verstappen. Oh, he's already pulled ahead of Sainz, but Sainz in this slipstream. Sainz is trying around the outside. Hamilton down the inside of Norris then. Oh, and Sainz is trying around the outside of Verstappen. Verstappen's got the inside line. Hamilton up into third, and Hamilton's going for second. Oh, there's contact there. Norris and Hamilton, a little bit of contact, and Stroll and Norris has lost out. Stroll's going to try around the outside of Hamilton as well then. Up into turn 4 we go. It's Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton, and Stroll trying around the outside. We've got Esteban Ocon has overtaken Norris already. Ocon up into 5th then. So Verstappen, Sainz, and Stroll goes round Hamilton. Stroll into 3rd. Lance Stroll, what a start from 5th to 3rd. So it's Verstappen, Sainz, and Hamilton has another look at Stroll, but it's Verstappen, Sainz, Stroll, Hamilton, Ocon. Norris has lost 3 positions in the first 10 seconds of the race. And then we've got Nico Hülkenberg. Sorry, we've got Alonso, then Russell, then Hülkenberg. Oh, it's Sergio Perez down the outside of Oscar Piastri into turn 10. Woo! But Piastri holds on then. Oh, Norris has got a box. I think he's got damage. I think Lando Norris has got damage. He's got a pit. Norris dives into the pits then, and it's a disaster from P3 on the grid. He's in the pits at the end of lap 1 is Lando Norris. Massive disappointment for McLaren as Verstappen leads him away then to the end of lap 1 on the medium tyre, followed by Sainz, Stroll, Hamilton, Ocon, Alonso. Here comes Perez again then on Oscar Piastri into turn 1, and I think Perez has got the move done now. Perez up into P10 then. Already Perez from 11th to 10th then makes his first move. And Lando Norris in the pits for a new front wing. Damn, son. Oh, Lando Norris in the bin. Look on the driver tracker how far Lando Norris is now behind the pack. He's done for. You may as well pull over and say, you know what, GG's guys. Wow, Alonso having to defend from George Russell in P6. So Alonso already up from 8th to 6th then in the first couple of laps. Was it Hungary when Verstappen spun mid-quali and faster lap? Yeah, man. Oh. Yeah, Carl. Can't stop him. At the end of lap 2 then, it's Verstappen leads. Verstappen leads Sainz by 1.5 then. Stroll looking to catch Sainz for second. And I said before the race started, I said about Lance Stroll, this is a good opportunity for Lance Stroll to get a podium today. Definitely his best opportunity of the season so far for Lance Stroll to get a podium. Replay of the race start then. You know, I thought Sainz would have been more brave around the outside. I've seen a replay of the start then, and Sainz and Verstappen went side by side into two. It wouldn't. No, I think Norris I think Norris clipped the back of Hamilton, you know, coming out of turn 2. So Verstappen covers Sainz off nicely. And then, whoa, yeah, nah, and I'll tell you what, Hamilton's lucky to get away with that in the... Lewis is lucky to get away without a puncture there. I want to see this on... Yeah, so we're on board with Lando Norris, okay? So we're going to see top 3 get away equally as well. Okay. Okay, so... Right, and then he's easing off. Oh, it's a tricky one for Norris, man. That's a tricky one to avoid for Lando Norris. It's just one of them racing incidents. It's a difficult one for Norris, that. And it's meant that he's half a lap behind the entire field. And look at Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll there was down for a replay on Lewis Hamilton. Decent move from Stroll on Hamilton at the end, on lap 2. I know, what a start from Stroll, exactly, SHT, man. So Verstappen leads Sainz by 1.8. Stroll 3.3 off the lead. Hamilton 1.3 behind that. We are looking at Sergio Perez still stuck in P10. Next up for Perez is Zhou Guanyu up there in P9. So we've still got Hülkenberg and Zhou in the points. But yeah, next up for Perez is the alpha of Zhou Guanyu. But Zhou's going to go for it on Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg has to defend down into turn 1. Then they're going side by side, and Zhou gets the move done with DRS. And Zhou up to P8. Let's go. Let's go, Zhou. Alonso had a good start as well, but feel for Lando. I know I feel sorry for Lando as well, man. He's up there at the sharp end for all of about 15 seconds. Damn, son. So, yeah, Perez still down there in P10. Zhou passes Hülkenberg for 8th. Behind Perez, Tsunoda, Piastri, Magnussen, Gasly. Gasly down there 14th. Terrible start for Pierre Gasly. Down in 14th. Ocon up in 5th. De Vries down in 15th. Alexander Albon P16. Bottas 17th. Leclerc 18th from the pits. And Logan Sargent P19. Norris obviously last half a second behind the pack. Is Bottas in the pits? Bottas is in the pits. And Perez passes Hülkenberg for P9 then into turn 1. With the DRS. Red Bull with DRS. Yeah, there's not a lot could defend against that. And yeah, Perez up two positions then from his starting spot of P11. Russell, interestingly, up from 11th to 7th at the start. So a great start from Russell. Obviously with Lando dropping back as well, it's promoted everyone up one. But yeah, Ocon P5, and then Alonso, Russell. Zhou's looking quick. Zhou, I tell you now, yeah, Zhou in the Alfa Romeo is quicker than George Russell. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. Good, Zhou Guanyu. Zhou Guanyu, Zhou Guanyu, Zhou Guanyu. Oh, I tell you what, Russell having a look at Alonso, and he's trying round the outside, is George Russell, and George Russell gets P6. Oh, of all the great races Fernando Alonso's had this season, and he comes to his home race, and he's struggling to get points, man. He's dropping back, is Fernando Alonso. He'd probably swap his 6 podiums, his 5 podiums for a decent race today. Oh my God, I've got to press something on the telly. Wait there. Sorry about that. TV was about to go into standby mode. You know, you don't press anything for a couple of hours and it's like, TV going into idle power save. No, mate. I mean, we're on lap 7. I don't want your idle power save mode. Leclerc down the inside of Logan Sargent then. Oh no, Albon, sorry. So Leclerc up to P16 then. Hopefully you like the layout of the stream. I think it's a little bit better than what I've had so far. Oh! Hamilton's done Stroll in turn 1. Hamilton's gone round the outside of Lance Stroll in turn 1. He's up to 3rd. Oh, and Piastri on Hulkenberg as well. I did not see the Hamilton on Stroll move coming at all. Neither did the TV directors because they cut to it when the move was already done. Wow. As if Hamilton's gone round the outside of Stroll in turn 1 out of nowhere. Hamilton up to 3rd then. So it's running order on lap 8 of 66 of the 2023 Spanish Grand Prix. Max Verstappen leads Sainz by 3.8 seconds. Hamilton up to 3rd then. Lance Stroll P4. Ocon 5th. Russell 6th. Alonso 7th and dropping back. Zhou Guanyu P8 under pressure now from the charging Sergio Perez, who started P11 up to P9 on the medium tyres and looking to make ground. Come on, Hamilton. Yes, Mitch. Buzzing. Let's go, Lewis. Here we go then, on board with Sergio Perez. Challenging Zhou Guanyu into turn 1. He's going to try around the outside. That's a brave one. You might get tagged there. Oh, that's a brave one. Swooping round the outside of the Alfa Romeo there. And he had to have full trust that Zhou was going to back out of that one. And ultimately, Zhou did back out of that one, but that was a risky one, sweeping and cutting in to the apex there on turn 1. That was a risky move from Sergio Perez, but he's getting the positions up to P8 now for the Mexican. Look at the gap Verstappen's got already, 4.5 seconds. So next up for Sergio Perez then is Fernando Alonso, the homeboy. Verstappen leads Sainz then by 4.6. I'm looking at the gap between Hamilton and Sainz, so that's under 2 seconds now. Stroll 4th. Ocon 5th, and Ocon now under pressure from George Russell. Mercedes looking good. Mercedes looking like they've got good race pace as Zhou Guanyu pits then from P9, was it? Zhou Guanyu in the pits then. He's having a good race so far, Zhou Guanyu, I'll tell you that. He's looking pretty quick, man. But yeah, Russell all over the back of Ocon then for P5. I remember last season watching this race and Russell was fighting for the win. Russell was fighting, I think he was fighting Leclerc for the win. And Leclerc broke down. I mean, flipping heck. And Gasly's gone round the outside of Hulkenberg. Nah, Hulkenberg's 27, isn't it? Tsunoda and Magnussen in the pits. Oh, Russell. Oh, Russell goes for it on Ocon, and he dives down the inside on a late one, does George Russell, and gets the move done. George Russell in the Mercedes up to P5. Ocon's going to try it back, though, round turn 3. But, George, the Mercedes are on a charge. You've had Hamilton round the outside of Stroll, and now Russell dives down the inside of Ocon into 1. And both Mercedes in the top 5 now, then. Nice move, and a late one from a late dive from Russell, but pulls off the move. Bottas struggling. Yeah, man. Bottas struggling. I agree. Zhou passes Tsunoda, then Zhou on the fresh tyres. Oh, well, on hard tyres. So they've... So... Wow. We're seeing some action on the exit of the pit lane there between Tsunoda, Hülkenberg and Zhou. Wow. Oh, Verstappen's cruising out front. 5.6 seconds is the lead. Hamilton only 1.5 behind Sainz for second. Fastest lap goes to Nico Hülkenberg on the fresh medium tyres in P14. No one's pitted out of the top 8 yet, though, have they? Alonso's not making it easy for Perez. No, he's not. Perez 1.1 behind Alonso. Yeah, Perez has sort of got stuck then after his early couple of moves in the first couple of laps. Perez has now come up to the back of Fernando Alonso, and progress has been halted. And we know what Fernando is when it comes to defence. Oh, ruthless. Ruthless. Leclerc is already up to P11 then. We're obviously with a handful of drivers having made the first pit stop. Leclerc on the hard tyre, so he's going long. And Leclerc up to P11 then on lap 13 of 66. Verstappen leads Sainz by 6 seconds. Hamilton now 1.4 behind Sainz. That gap is closing. Lewis looking quick. Sainz team radio. Oh, Sainz being told to pick up the pace as Hamilton closes the gap. Sainz has been given the hurry up with the Mercedes closing in. We've got Lance Stroll in P4, but he's been dropped by Lewis. He's 4.6 seconds behind the Mercedes. Russell up to 5th after a nice move on Esteban Ocon in turn 1. Hulk is rapid, mate. Hülkenberg, fastest lap. I think Ocon's pitted. Yeah, Ocon in the pits then from P6. Lap 14. Well, end of lap 13 and Ocon is in. The first of the leading pack to pit, and he's onto the medium, so Ocon goes soft medium for the first 2 stints. Oh, and Ocon's coming out into traffic. Wow. Ocon comes out side by side with... Oh, gee. And look at this battle here between Hülkenberg, Tsunoda and Zhou. And this side by side Zhou and Tsunoda going into turn 4. Wow. And Tsunoda around the outside of Zhou then. What a What a battle that is for 14th. And yeah, Ocon stayed ahead of that three-way fight for P14. Cut to Lewis Hamilton, who is all over the back of Carlos Sainz's Ferrari. Strolls in the pits from 4th. Sweet stop from the Aston Martin crew there on Lance Stroll. But Hamilton's within half a second of Sainz. Hamilton's eyeing up the second place here. And there goes Tsunoda on Hulkenberg for 14th. Good. That's where all the action is. Tsunoda, Hulkenberg and Zhou. I tell you what, Tsunoda's having a good season, isn't he, so far? Hamilton within half a second of Sainz for P2. Alonso pulling away from Perez, yeah. Sainz is in the pits, yeah. Sainz pits. And Stroll passes Sargent, who's yet to stop. But here we go then. So it's Sainz from P2 in the pits, and Lewis has got to react to this immediately. Hamilton and Mercedes have to react to this straight away. Hamilton has to pit this lap. And Leclerc's going to be ahead of Sainz. But he's got to let him through, though. Yeah, Leclerc will have to let Sainz through ASAP. But here comes Zhou Guanyu then on Nico Hulkenberg. Oh, and Hulkenberg tries to defend it, but Zhou's down the inside. And it's a great move into turn 1. Zhou up to P15. Verstappen leads Hamilton by 8 seconds. Hamilton team radio. Tyres are still really good, mate, says Hamilton on team radio. No, you have to react. You have to react. You have to react to the Sainz pit stop. You have to. You can't. Oh, no. You got to react, man. You can't start messing about. You're not racing Verstappen. You're racing Sainz, bro. I don't know. Are they going to try and extend Hamilton's stint? I mean, obviously, they're better informed than I am, but if I'm in charge at Mercedes, I'd pit Lewis straight away. Because we're quicker. I would think, if I'm Mercedes, I think we're quicker than the Ferrari. Let's just do their strategy and we'll beat them. Am I trying to be fancy, trying to be smart, going an alternate strategy? Just do what they do and you'll beat them on pace. I don't know about being clever, man. Lewis has stayed out. I mean, in the end, it'll probably pay off, but Leclerc pits then and comes out P18, just ahead of Lando Norris. Yeah, boxing, pitting, same thing. Verstappen 7 seconds. I know. It's more than that now. 8 seconds. Verstappen leads Hamilton by 8 seconds. They're going to leave Hamilton out there. I'm not sure about that decision. Yeah, they're gonna come at Sainz later on in the race. He did say his tyres are good, but if I'm Hamilton's pit crew, I'm saying, listen, it doesn't matter. Match Sainz's strategy. Easy you're racing today, but listen, they're thinking outside the box. They're going for they're going for the smart one and going, oh, I'll tell you what, let's do alternate strategy. Let's extend this stint, come at him later in the race, you know. I'd have just kept it simple and gone for it. Piastri comes out of the pits then in P15. Also curious of what Alonso will do as well. Yeah, Alonso's still out there. Hamilton, Russell, Alonso, Gasly still out there on the soft tyres, yet to pit. But yeah, we've got a few strategies going on here. Some people going from soft to mediums. Some people going from soft to hard. You know, that's attempting the one stop. Talk of 3 stop today. No chance. It's going to be 1 or 2 stop race. If we don't get rain, that is. If it stays dry. And listen, the commentators haven't spoken 1 minute. They haven't even mentioned rain. So I don't think that's on the agenda, all things said and done. Russell saying a lot more pace on these tyres. So Russell and Hamilton are happy with those tyres as Sainz passes Gasly then. Sainz obviously on the fresh medium tyres. It's easy move. And Sainz up to P6 then. Oscar Piastri passes De Vries into 14th. Mercedes top 3. Maybe both of them can get on the podium today, Carl. I figure at least one of them will be on the podium today. But yeah, Mercedes are definitely, with their Monaco upgrade, have definitely made progress and are doing very well. As we see a replay of Oscar Piastri's move into turn 1 on Nick De Vries. And Aston Martin ready for a pit stop then. Alonso pits. Alonso pits from what was 6th. So is he? They put him on the soft. And Gasly's in as well then. Oh, and he's going to come out side by side with Zhou Guanyu. Have they put Alonso on the soft? They put Alonso on the soft tyre, man. They've gone on a racy middle stint for Fernando Alonso on the soft tyre. And the commentator's not even picked up on that as Leclerc goes round the outside of Gasly. I don't understand what position that was first. It's 15th. Leclerc passes Gasly for 15th. And the Bottas is all over the back of the Alpine now. Not a great race or afternoon or weekend for Pierre Gasly. Struggling out there. P15 and dropping. All right, what is the scenario here? Alonso's gone racy, man. Aston Martin have gambled on a soft tyre. Russell wants the one stop. Russell saying the tyres are good and he's improving the lap time. So Russell wants to keep the mediums on as Alonso goes for the move on Zhou. Alonso up to P9 then in the Aston Martin. And Zhou Guanyu passes Piastri passes Hülkenberg for P11 in the McLaren. I quite like that McLaren livery, actually. Now I've seen it for a couple of weeks, I got used to it. I prefer it to the all-orange normal livery, actually. Yeah, McLaren livery is all right, you know. De Vries down there in 14th. Replay on board with Pierre Gasly in the pits then. And so he must have had a slow stop. Okay, front right tyre slow to go on. And it's cost him a couple of seconds in the pit. Not a massive drama, but Gasly losing out in the pit stops as we see a replay of Leclerc going inside and outside. A double move in a way. Car coming out of the pit lane for Leclerc. Bit of drama there into turn 1, but Leclerc in P16 at the moment. As Ocon being chased down by Yuki Tsunoda for 7th. Verstappen leads Hamilton by 9.7 seconds. Russell 9 behind Hamilton. Perez up into 4th with everyone doing pit stops. Perez still out there on the mediums in 4th, 6.8 behind Russell. Sainz, who's pitted, 5 seconds behind Perez. Stroll P6, Ocon P7, Tsunoda up there in 8th and looking racy. Tsunoda 8th and only 1.2 behind Ocon. Tsunoda can get points again here today. Tsunoda's having a great season. Alonso will be racy in P9 though, with the soft tyres on. He'll have to stop again for Alonso, I'd imagine. Zhou in the final paints point position of P10 at the moment then, as we are starting lap 24. Or sorry, it's lap 23 of 66. So we're about a third race distance, just over. Please do drop me a like, guys, if you're enjoying the stream. It really does help out the channel. Well, I hope it starts helping out the channel. It really would be appreciated. And please subscribe as well if you're into Formula 1. But, wow, we've got some action here. Gasly's gone round the outside of De Vries for 14th. Look at this replay then from Pierre Gasly. And it was actually De Vries going for a move on Hülkenberg. And Gasly's taken full advantage of De Vries going off the racing line. And what a move from Gasly. Sorry, De Vries was going for a move on Magnussen. De Vries was going for a move on Magnussen. And in them going offline, Gasly's gone, I'll have a bit of that, and takes De Vries. And now Gasly all over the back of Magnussen for 13th. But here comes Charles Leclerc on the soft tyre. They put Leclerc on the soft. So they pitted Leclerc and put him on the soft tyre for the middle stint, just like Alonso. Hamilton and Russell still out there, not pitted yet from 2nd and 3rd. As Gasly takes Magnussen then for 13th. It's great action in the midfield today between the Alpha Tauris, Haas, Alfa Romeos, Alpines. You know, the teams in the midfield have had great fights. Hamilton team radio, and he's been told to pit then. 11.7 seconds is the deficit to Max Verstappen out front. And Hamilton pits from P2. And he's going on to the mediums then. So soft, medium is the strategy for Lewis Hamilton. And it looks a clean slot. 3-second pit stop. Not too bad. Not the best ever, but not a disaster either. And Sainz gets ahead of Lewis then. So yeah, so the gap between Sainz and Hamilton then is 2.9 seconds. We'll see how that progresses, but that could end up being the battle for effectively P2. Because Russell and Perez yet to stop. Verstappen out front yet to stop. I wonder what Red Bull will do then. I wonder if Red Bull will, one, stop it and go onto the hard tyre, or try and extend this stint and go soft at the end with the Red Bull. Replay of the move from Pierre Gasly, and what a move it was. Great racing from De Vries and Gasly there. Ooh, and there was a little bit of contact there was coming out of turn 2. And Russell pits then from what was effectively it was in second. And now he's going to come out behind Stroll, is it? So Russell comes out P6, but here comes Esteban Ocon then. They're going to be nearest side by side in turn 1. Ocon's going to get the switch back here. Ocon's going to be all over the back of that Mercedes, but Russell slots back out into the race then, P6, ahead of the Alpine. And here comes Charles Leclerc then with DRS, looking quick, and passes Nick De Vries's AlphaTauri into turn 1 round the outside, and Leclerc up to 14th then as Verstappen's told to pit on lap 26 of 66, and race leader Verstappen in then. Verstappen pits. And, yeah, he's cruising. And it's a sweet stop as well for the race leader, world champion. 2.2 second pit stop. And Verstappen... And they put him on the hard tyres. He's just chilling. It's an easy one for Verstappen, this. Sweet pit stop, and maintains the lead of the race. With Perez yet to stop, it's currently a Red Bull 1-2, but it won't finish a Red Bull 1-2 because Perez has got to stop. Effectively, the battle for second is between Sainz and Hamilton. Hamilton only 1.5 seconds behind the Ferrari. And Stroll can still get a podium here. Hulkenberg in the pits, and the jacks failed. The rear jacks failed. Yeah, the rear jack failed, and so they've got a backup for exactly that scenario. Lap 27 of 66. Verstappen leads Perez by 7.3. Like I was saying, Perez yet to stop. Sainz 2.5 behind Perez, and Hamilton within a second. So Hamilton within a second of Sainz. Stroll on the soft tyres, 8 seconds adrift in P5. George Russell reporting rain. Yes, Carl. George Russell reporting rain, and Perez pits. Oh. Yeah, let's have a bit of rain. And Hamilton passes Sainz. We've not seen it on the telly. We're watching Perez in the pits, and Hamilton's passed Sainz for second. No, Hamilton's passed Sainz. Oh, that's bad TV director, that is. That's horrendous TV directing, that is. We have missed the overtake for second, and they're going to show a replay of it now. Down the main straight then with DRS, Lewis Hamilton. Is Sainz going to defend it? No, Sainz doesn't even defend it. Lewis gets the inside line, late on the brakes, and a nice move from Lewis up into P2 then the Mercedes. Alonso 8th, get a move on. Alonso 8th, I know, man. I know. It's not been a phenomenal race for Fernando Alonso, I'm going to be honest. I thought it'd be rapid on the soft tyres as well, but it's not really made much of a difference. Look at him sticking the hand out. Oh, trying to feel for rain. You can have all the weather radars and all the rain flipping detection systems in the world, but nothing beats sticking your hand outside and seeing if you're feeling the raindrops. You can have all the weather radar you want, but nothing beats sticking your hand out. Verstappen leads Hamilton by 12 seconds. Mercedes have this is a big improvement. It's a big improvement on race pace for Mercedes here, and it's a good sign for the rest of the season. Mercedes have made a big leap forward here. Not enough to challenge Max, but enough to certainly leapfrog Ferrari and Aston Martin. I think we can now say that the Mercedes is the second fastest car on the grid now. I think Aston are not looking particularly strong here today. Ferrari looking decent, but I think the Mercedes has just got the edge on the Ferrari today. Hamilton now pulling away from Sainz. The gap is already 2.7 seconds between Hamilton and Sainz. And Russell within 5 seconds of the Ferrari as well. Like I say, both Mercedes could end up on the podium here today if it figures out that way. But we're on lap 30 of 66, coming up to half race distance. Verstappen leads Hamilton by 12.7. Sainz P3, Russell P4, closing in slowly but surely on the Ferrari. Lance Stroll on the soft tyres in P5. I'll be looking at the gap between Stroll and Russell, see if Stroll can make an impression on the Mercedes, but it's not looking that way at the moment. Ocon P6 coming off the podium in Monaco. Ocon looking good for 6th. And Yuki Tsunoda on the hard tyre in P7. As we see Perez all over the back of Alonso then for 8th. No, it's not. Is it SHT? It's not the tyre. The soft isn't the tyre. No. I was hoping it would be. Well, so were Aston Martin. But yeah, I was thinking when Alonso went onto the softs, I was thinking, oh, they're going for a gambit. And, you know, they'd have been hoping Alonso rapid in the middle stint of the race. But it's not worked out that way. And he's probably going to have to stop again. The Astons are probably going to have to stop again. They could end up both in the back end of the points. Maybe they won't even get points today, Aston Martin. It's a tough one from here, as Perez easily passes Alonso with DRS down the main straight then, and Perez into P8. Alonso down to 9th at his home Grand Prix. Ooh. Zhou Guanyu, interestingly, still up there in the top 10 on the hard tyre. 3.8 behind Alonso. He's slightly under pressure, though, from Oscar Piastri in P11, a second and a half off the points. Gasly on the medium in 12th. Leclerc on the soft as well. That's not going to work. We could end up where... We could be in a scenario here where it ends up both Astons and Leclerc out of the points. Because I feel like Tsunoda and Perez are going to get the points. The rain that Russell reported wasn't rain, it's sweat from inside of his visor. Wow. Clouds are dark though. I would like to see a little sprinkling, yeah. Yeah, yesterday really cost him, SHT, yeah. Not a great day for Fernando, but listen, he's had a lot of great days this season, and I'm sure he'll come back strong in Canada in 2 weeks' time. Half race distance then, lap 33 of 66. Verstappen leads Hamilton by 13.6 seconds. Damn. And Russell closing in on Sainz. It could be a double Mercedes podium today, you know. which will show great progress. Great progress from where they were in round 1 in Bahrain, and flipping, well, from where they've been all season, well off it. Yeah, it's great progress from Mercedes. It could get a double podium here this afternoon as Hülkenberg passes one of the Williams, and Perez passes Tsunoda. Then Perez up into 7th on a charge. Well, David Croft on comms saying that Perez is in the battle for the podium. Possibly. Although there's quite a few big gaps to, few bridges to cross before he gets to within podium reach for Perez, but it's not out of the question, I suppose. The crowd is being quiet. Yeah, mum. It's not the day, is it? It's not the day. It's a weird atmosphere. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Because Alonso's season this far has been something like third, fourth, third, second. You know what I mean? Something like that. And it's like, and today's the day it doesn't go right. And today's the day is just going to be like P10 and like, it's a shame, isn't it? After the first 6 or 7 races of this season, that now's the day of the off weekend. And Perez easily passes Ocon. Perez up to 6th. Well, Perez making great ground now. He is catching Tsunoda. Yeah, 1.7 is the gap between Alonso and Tsunoda. Yeah, Alonso is catching Tsunoda for 8th. But it is kind of a shame that he's not fighting for the podium this weekend. But Perez on the move. Perez is on the move. And Russell coming up to the back of Sainz for P3 then. Within a second now is George Russell in the Mercedes. There hasn't the car. There has been a lack of safety cars. Was there any in Monaco? Did we got through the Monaco Grand Prix without a safety car, didn't we? I don't think there was one in Baku. There wasn't one in Miami. There has been a lack of safety cars this season. Yeah, Monaco, no safety car. That's weird, that, isn't it? As, whoa, Russell's gone down the inside. Oh, that's so close. But Russell gets the move done on Carlos Sainz. And it's Mercedes 2nd and 3rd in the race by lap 35. Wow. And as I was talking about the lack of safety cars, Russell has gone for it and strolls in the pits onto the hard tyres. Not worked out for Aston Martin. Tsunoda's pitted as well. So Alonso up to P7 then with all of that, but he'll probably have to pit again and try and come through at the end, I guess. But yeah, we're overdue a safety car, aren't we? We're overdue a safety car, man. Pray for safety car, yeah, man. That's spiced it up, especially with Verstappen leading by near 14 seconds. When was the last time we had a Verstappen Hamilton 1-2? You're really looking. You're gonna be. Did that happen in 2022? Maybe once or twice. We haven't had a Verstappen Hamilton 1-2 for a while. I know that. Oh, and it was a late one from Russell. Wow, a great move. A great move from George Russell, and telling him it's a solid move. He's not happy with that. Ocon out of the pits and rejoins in 14th. Forgot what it's called. America race. What? Miami. And there was no safety car at Miami either. No, it was a boring one. Man, Tsunoda's undercut Ocon. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how this all plays out, because I'd back Tsunoda to get some points here. Maybe even get like a top 7. Let's go, Yuki! Zhou Guanyu pits then from P10. I know, gives a safety car. Come on, gives a safety. Swan spin off. We need rain or a safety car. Being deprived of both of those things, it's not a good afternoon, is it? Zhou comes out of the pits just in front of his teammate Valtteri Bottas, and Alexander Albon all over the back of this battle as well in 17th. Tell Logan to bin it. However, Logan. No, man. It's not the one, this, is it? Not for F1, but sounds like a great afternoon for you. Is it? Are you just chilling? Yeah, we could do with something. We could do with something. Bottas team radio. Okay, so Bottas doing the groundwork for Yuki. Sorry, Bottas doing the groundwork for Zhou Guanyu. And Magnussen coming up on the back of Bottas then for 16th. And Bottas's job is to hold him up. Oh, when Hulkenberg snatches a break into turn 5. He's a lap down. Zhou has been out racing Bottas. Zhou's coming into his own this season. Oh, sorry, on the graphic, the graphic of the hard tyre won't show up because it's white, and I've deleted the... Yeah, so the graphic of the hard tyre, so you see there Verstappen just says medium and then blank, is actually medium hard, as is Perez, as is Piastri, and Leclerc, for example, started on the hard tyre. So just as a heads up for the timing screen. Oh, no. Replay on board with Esteban Ocon then into the final corner. Does he get a bit of oversteer? Oh, no. Ocon makes the move on one of the AlphaTauris then. Ocon passes De Vries. Fastest lap for George Russell in P3 as Piastri pits, as well as Gasly. So Piastri and Gasly in the pits. He's just dialed off Yeah, not a great season for Bottas. Have either Aston changed compound yet? Alonso's still going on the soft tyre, but Stroll has pitted and changed to hards, yeah. But Alonso's still out there on the softs. It's not worked. Whether he's going to try and see it through to the end, I don't know. That'd be brave. That'd be a brave move. There'd be a lot of laps on the soft tyre. But Stroll's ditched it and gone for the hards and is currently P8. You reckon Alonso's going for mediums? He's got, what's he got? There's 25 laps to go. He can't get to the end on soft. Yeah, he's got to go mediums, I'd think, yeah. As Bottas comes out of the pits, then a lap down, and Russell passes him. Leclerc out there on the softs as well. So it's only Alonso and Leclerc out there on the soft tyres there, 6th and 7th. See if Lance Stroll is closing in on Leclerc. Ocon P9 and Yuki Tsunoda currently P10 in the AlphaTauri. He's having a nice little race as we see De Vries on the back of Lando Norris for 16th. It's been a night. It has been a nightmare for Leclerc. He's not been a great race for Leclerc. I don't think he's going to end up with a point, Leclerc. I mean, if Alonso's got to stop again, Alonso won't get any points today. Sainz. Wow, Sainz is going to pit again. What, are they going to put a set of soft tyres on this? So Sainz pits again, which is not... So, yeah, so basically Sainz has given up on the battle with the Mercedes and has decided his race is with Sergio Perez. And through goes Alonso then, and Perez. So Sainz has made it hard work for himself, but he backs it. Sainz is out on the hard tyre as well. I didn't expect Sainz to stop again. That's promoted Perez up into P4. Leclerc in the pits then as well. Puts on the hard tyre as well then. So Leclerc, and he's going to be way outside the points. Look at this. Oh, and through goes everybody. And Verstappen laps Leclerc. And Leclerc comes out of the pits then in P14. And De Vries and Magnussen are still fighting for position. I feel like De Vries and Magnussen and Tsunoda, and they've been fighting all afternoon. And Leclerc comes out of the pits P14. It's not been his day, man. Not been his weekend, Charles Leclerc. Lap 43 of 66. He's on softs, Carl. Alonso's on the soft tyres. Okay, so Verstappen not really happy with these tyres. If he stops again, Lewis will take the lead. But yeah, Verstappen complaining about the tyres, not really happy being on the hards. He's struggling under braking. As Zhou Guanyu passes Hulkenberg for P10 then. I hope Tsunoda and Zhou get points out of this. They've both had decent races as far as I can tell. Yeah, Tsunoda up there in P9, Zhou in P10. At the moment, with 22 laps to go. I wonder if Mercedes will go to the end now with Sainz stopping. The thing is, you've got to start worrying about Perez now, really, Mercedes. What's the gap out front? 16.1. So it's not like Hamilton's catching Verstappen. So it's not putting Verstappen under pressure, really. If Verstappen can get 22-second lead, he can pit and come out in the lead anyway. So I don't know. Gasly passes Hulkenberg for 12th. Oh, Hulkenberg pits, sorry. Hulkenberg in the pits. Rain not forecast then, so it doesn't look like it's going to rain between now and the end of the race. So the rain was an outside chance, let's say, and it's not materialized. I wonder if the Mercs will pit again, or they'll stretch it out. Alonso in the pits then, so Alonso's ditching. Yeah, here comes Fernando. Alonso pits then. What they're going to put on it? Set of hard tyres to the end of the race. It's not worked for Stroll, Alonso, and Leclerc. It's the strategies have been off. And Alonso comes out of the pits. Oh, he'll get points then. He'll get a couple of points. So Alonso comes out of the pits then in P10. But on the fresh tyres, you'd fancy him to catch and pass 2 or 3 of the guys ahead of him. We've got Ocon 7th. Maybe can get up behind Stroll then. Maybe Aston are looking at a P6 and 7 this afternoon on that one. Mercedes are ready for Russell then. So Russell coming in for a set of soft tyres then. So Russell pits. So it has been a 2-stop race. I don't think anyone's going to pull off a 1-stop apart from perhaps the Red Bulls. No, I think Verstappen, if Mercedes pit, it frees up Verstappen to then have a free pit stop. But yeah, Russell is pitted for a set of softs and easily clear as Sainz. Verstappen team radio. Ooh. Okay. So Verstappen getting 2 warnings for track limits. I think you get 3 strikes and then you get a 5-second time penalty after that. But yeah, Verstappen needs to keep it within the within the white lines. Replay with Nico Hulkenberg's pit stop, and the rear jacks failed again on the Haas. Ferrari's strategy has done it again. It's not been great, has it? Leclerc down in 13th. Sainz has dropped from front row to a P5. Not fantastic form, that, is it? Damn. Be interesting to see where Perez ends up after all of this. Well, this is it. I think Perez will just battle on to the end now. I think if I was Perez, I wouldn't want to be pitting now. I'd say I'll see it through and maybe I can get a podium out of this. Because Russell's 13 seconds behind with what? Yeah, 18 laps to go. So, mind you, 12.3. The gap's coming down quick, it is, actually. Oh, no, maybe it is the right decision for Perez to pit, actually, then. And battle Russell on at the end of the race. Fastest lap for George Russell, then an 18 flat. And the gap's 12.6. I don't know. It's a difficult one for Perez whether to stop. Yeah, Sainz's podium's gone, yeah. Yeah, I think the race is Perez, Russell, and Sainz, like Martin says. And Alonso then, on the fresh hard tyres, passes Zhou Guanyu for P9 at his home race. Fernando Alonso then has a couple of points at the moment, but will want more than that. Next up for Alonso on the road is Yuki Tsunoda, and he's already within a second and a half of the AlphaTauri. No Spaniard on the podium. Ooh. Yeah, difficult pill to swallow for the home fans, that, but... Yuki's team radio messages are fast becoming highlights of every race. Yuki, do you want more stability or more turning? I don't know, just give me something. Yuki Tsunoda on team radio is a whole comedy series, mate. As Alonso dispatches of Yuki Tsunoda there. Alonso up into P8 then. And Ocon is less than a second in front of him. So, yeah, I think Aston Martin looking at a 6th and 7th, which isn't it's not... wasn't the ideal scenario, but... Alonso's having a good final stint and looking to catch and pass Esteban Ocon within the next lap or two. Russell team radio, he's 10 seconds. Yeah, turn it up, George. Yeah, so George is 10 seconds behind Perez and Red Bull get ready for a stop. I'm glad I didn't put much on Alonso to get a podium. Much, that means you put something on it, which is it was never advisable. Alonso eyeing up Ocon. Hamilton team radio. Hamilton being told to box then. So Hamilton's going to pit. So Lewis Hamilton pits from P2. Hit 1020p. Oh, it's all right. Hit 1020p. It's not going to change your life. Oh. It's a scrub set of soft. And Perez is coming in as well. Look at that shiny, fresh, shiny set of soft tyres for Sergio Perez then. So Hamilton's pitted from second. Perez in. Yeah. So Perez is going to be hunting down George Russell for the podium is basically how this race is turning out. After it's all unfolded itself, Hamilton looks nailed on for P2, and it's going to be Perez versus Sainz and Russell for the final spot on the podium. As Verstappen complains about the hard tyres, I think, oh, that's a late move. It's a late defence from Ocon on Fernando Alonso. And Fernando Alonso will be fuming at that. Oh, that was a late defensive move from Esteban Ocon, and Alonso lucky to get away with that one as we see a McLaren of Piastri defending against Leclerc and Leclerc up into P12. But Esteban Ocon was very rude there on Fernando Alonso. Alonso gets the move done, but damn. Whew. Look at this late defensive move from Ocon. Wow. Wow, Fernando. Whoa, that's a very late defensive move from Ocon there. I wouldn't be surprised if Ocon gets a penalty there for like some sort of... That's too close for comfort, yeah. Touch and go, says Martin Brundle, and touch and go that. That was... I'll tell you what, Alonso's not that far behind Stroll, is he? The gap was like 10 seconds. I was thinking, that's it. But, you know, Alonso's on a charge here. You know, Fernando's on a late surge as Verstappen's in the pits then for a set of scrub softs. So, yeah, Verstappen with a 39-second lead can do 2 pit stops and still lead the race. Such is the dominance. But yeah, Verstappen comes back out onto the circuit then on lap 53 of 66. And his lead is 17 seconds. Yuki Tsunoda is in P9 on the back of Esteban Ocon. So yeah, up to now then, Tsunoda and Zhou both getting points. As cut to Perez versus Sainz then. Perez up to P4 on the fresh soft tyres. And it's going to be Perez versus Russell. I can see Perez getting on the podium here. Yeah, Perez is looking quick. That is game on for Perez, man. Ferrari into shambles again. Average pit time nowadays about 2.5 seconds. Three is not optimal. 2 seconds, 2.2 is rapid. So what, about 2.7 average, I'd say. Which is nuts. Yeah, Kim, how mad is that? But the whole pit process, that's just how long the static for. That 2.7 seconds is just how long the car is actually stationary, you know. The whole pit stop process, including coming into the pit lane, driving into the garage, driving out again and out back onto the track, that's like 22 seconds, the whole process. But how long they're actually stopped for is 2 point something. 2.5. Crazy. A little bit quicker than Quick Fit, isn't it? Imagine going to Quick Fit, stopping your car, they lift you up, take 4 wheels off it, put 4 new wheels on, drop you down and say off you go. Within 2.5 seconds you'd be going, damn. So yeah, it's pretty quick. It is insane. It is insane. But yeah, Verstappen leads Hamilton by 16.8 seconds. Russell 5.5 behind Hamilton. And it is Sergio Perez. This is the story then. Perez catching the 2 Mercedes with 11 laps to go. The gap between Perez and Russell for the final spot on the podium is 7.6 seconds. And that is the big story. Zhou and Tsunoda having a good duel for 9th. They are. And Tsunoda's catching Ocon as well for 8th. But yeah, Zhou's right behind Tsunoda as well. So actually, the battle for 8th between Ocon, Tsunoda and Zhou is within 2 seconds. Oh my God. Russell's been told on the radio to watch out for the last couple of laps. Perez is coming. You can see there on the GPS. So we've got Verstappen already coming around the final couple of corners. Hamilton there now in turn 10. Russell coming down the back straight to turn 10. And you see Perez there coming around turn 9. So you can see the gap there. So that's the gap we're looking at. Perez catching Russell and Hamilton with 11 laps to go. 10 laps to go. That's what we're looking for. Gap between Perez and Russell, 7.4 seconds. Compare for Bottas and show this race. I know. Bottas is P20 and last. Yeah, Chris, I reckon it'd be very close. I reckon I back Perez to do it, I think. 7 seconds now, the gap. I think Perez will get third. Whether he's got enough time to catch Lewis, I don't think so. But it's going to be close. And Zhou is going to get DRS on Tsunoda for 9th. Down the back straight then. Here comes Zhou Guanyu then. And Tsunoda has to defend. And Zhou's round the outside of Tsunoda with the brake dust coming out. And the side by side. Oh, and Zhou has to go off the track then. And Tsunoda with the hard defense. But Zhou will come again. Zhou will live to fight again. And Tsunoda pushed Zhou off there. But Zhou will fight again for that one. He'll come back again for another sniff at that one. But here's a replay then, and Tsunoda takes the inside line, and then it's side by side, and Tsunoda doesn't give him an inch. Yeah, Zhou not given an inch by Tsunoda there. Whew. Yeah, he pushed him off, man. That's rude. That's rude. That. And I tell you what, Yuki Tsunoda's running out of brakes here. He's a lot of brake dust for Yuki Tsunoda's AlphaTauri, and Zhou Guanyu now will be on the warpath for the P9. Feel for Leclerc and feel for Norris. Yeah, it's a shame for Lando Norris, man. Start P3, and within 10 seconds, it's all gone tits up, and you're in the pits. Yeah, being in the pits at the end of lap 1 it's ruthless, man, because you know your entire afternoon's ruined. You know that you've just got to do 65 laps, 20 seconds off the back of the pack. It becomes like oh, God, you know. So I really do feel for Norris. As for Leclerc, it's been a tough race for Charles Leclerc, hasn't it? He's not made the progress that he would have been hoping for. Outside of the points is Charles Leclerc in P12 with 8 laps to go. Gap between Perez and Russell then is 5.3. 5.2. Perez could end up with P2 here. Well, hang on. What's the gap between Hamilton and Perez is now the question. I don't know. Which is 12. So Perez is 12 seconds behind Hamilton. He's 5 behind Russell and 12 behind Hamilton. Yeah, 12 might be a stretch, but Perez looking at third. Also feel for McLaren. I know, that's a shame. Yeah, Piastri down in 13th, not been his day. And under pressure from Nick de Vries, who has had a lot of... Nick de Vries has had a lot of action. Had a lot of battles this race, as Nick. And so has the Hassers as well. Hulkenberg been involved in a lot of fights down in 15th. Verstappen black and white flag. Okay, so Verstappen's on final warning for track limits. Yeah, so Verstappen is on a final warning with track limits. Verstappen team radio then. Yeah, stay off the curbs. You don't need to. Alonso team radio. Fair play to Fernando Alonso. He's just playing a team game. That's. I've never seen Alonso. I've never seen Alonso with this such nice attitude before. Which, for a teammate, Alonso really gunning for Stroll. I've never seen that. I mean, it's a sign of that he's comfortable and thinks that he can just batter Lance Stroll, isn't it? Really, but you know, he's not seeing Lance Stroll as a rival, is he? He's seeing Stroll as someone that he wants to help, which is a really unusual slant to take. Yeah, it is warm today. Yeah, Farron, come on, Hamilton. Unfortunately, 18 and a half seconds off the lead, but he's looking good for P2. I don't think Perez is going to catch Russell, is he? As Norris fighting, Norris and Magnussen battling for 17th with 5 laps to go. But I don't think Perez is going to catch Russell. We're looking at a double Mercedes podium here. Alonso v Stroll coming soon. I don't know, man. Do you reckon? I don't know. I think Alonso is strangely satisfied with being behind Lance. Roasting Sun Scotland as well, yeah. Wow, Magnussen and Norris fighting tooth and nail for 17th. Oh, a bit of rain now will come in clutch, won't it? Imagine now. Imagine we get a downpour now. Oh. I don't think rains. There was a rumour, a hint, a myth of rain, but it's not materialised. Yeah, Perez being told to go all out because the gap's 5.4 and he's running out of laps. Yuki Tsunoda time penalty. Oh, Yuki Tsunoda gets a 5-second time penalty, and that's brutal. That's going to drop him about 4 positions because Zhou's within 1.4, Gasly's within 3.5, Leclerc is. Oh, that's going to drop him about 3 or 4 places. Is Yuki Tsunoda with the 5-second time penalty? He was too aggressive in his defence with Zhou Guanyu into turn 1 a few laps ago. Oh, Yuki, I know, gutted, man. Oh, Yuki, man. He was just too aggressive with it. Gasly could sneak a point. Leclerc's on the back of this battle now. Leclerc could sneak a point. It's 18. 6 months ago, it was minus 18, yeah. Verstappen team radio. Okay, so Verstappen set the fastest lap. So they told him, don't go out of track limits, don't do anything, no risk. It's 18, 19 seconds to Lewis. And Verstappen's gone and set a fastest lap. And now he's been told to cool it off and just bring the car home without any penalties due. And yeah, Verstappen with the 19-second lead has cruised another race. He's cruised yet another Grand Prix. And I don't think Perez is not catching Russell. It's over. We're going to have 2 Mercedes on the podium. And where did they start? Where did Mercedes start this race from? About 4th and 6th? So to finish 2nd and 3rd, big day for Mercedes, this. Big day for Mercedes. Did he start 4th and 6th? Something like that. Or maybe even Russell. No, in fact, Russell was well lower, wasn't he? Russell was like 12th. Yeah, Russell was 12th. They weren't 4th and 6th. They started 4th and 12th. And they've ending up 2nd and 3rd. What a race from George Russell. I have not given this enough credit at all. Russell started 12th, finishing on the podium. Mega job. I haven't given that even a thought. George Russell, driver of the day. Gotta be 12th to 3rd. I mean, Max has dominated. But what are you going to do? Give Max Verstappen driver of the day every week? I mean, boring, mate. I'll give Russell driver of the day. 12th to 3rd. You can't argue with that. A huge blow for Aston Martin in the constructors' standings. Yeah, it is. It is, because I haven't considered that either, because this is big points for Mercedes. Mercedes will easily be 2nd in constructors now after this. I think there's a point between them, wasn't there? I think Aston had 120 points. Mercedes has 119. Mercedes are getting 20-odd points from this. Like 30 points. Well, what would it be? 27 points, something like that. And Aston getting, what? 10 points. Big swing in the Constructors' Championship in Mercedes' favour as well. And Ferrari lost ground again. P5 for Sainz after starting on the front row. That's a failure, that, for Sainz. That's a big L for Sainz. Front row start, P5. Nope. Leclerc from the pit lane to P12. Oh, I mean, he might scrape a point. Leclerc is trying to fight Gasly for 11th, which will become 10th once Tsunoda's penalty. So essentially, Leclerc is fighting for a point, essentially, is what's going on here. Ferrari outscored by Aston, yeah. Alonso's happy sitting behind Stroll this week. That's it. He's happy with the P6 and 7. Because they know that it's not worth the risk because they're so far behind Sainz. He's probably just thought, I'll give this one to Lance. It's not worth the risk. But yeah, Leclerc with DRS on Pierre Gasly, but it looks like he's not going to be close enough. And Verstappen's on the final lap then. Imagine he spins off now into the gravel. Imagine he spins off now. If Verstappen beaches it now, imagine. Oh. Not going to happen. It's another absolute domination. Ferrari doing Ferrari things. Yeah. Yeah, man. Tough times. Tough times. I thought Ferrari were going to bounce off 2022 and be rapid this season. I did a prediction video in February predicting Leclerc champion. Like an idiot. I thought Ferrari are going to be rapid this season. They've gone backwards. They've gone backwards a lot. And Max is just absolutely walked it. This is one of the most dominating races I've ever seen. Verstappen's walked this race by 24 seconds. Max Verstappen wins, dominates, annihilates the competition and wins the 2023 Spanish Grand Prix by 24 seconds over Mercedes Lewis Hamilton will take a P2. It's a good race from Mercedes. As Lewis comes around the final corner then, and it's Hamilton P2. We're back to 2021 days. Verstappen from Hamilton. And George Russell, my driver of the day, George Russell, from P12 to P3. Russell holds off Perez. Russell P3 to Mercedes on the podium. Perez, a great recovery from 11th to 4th on the alternate strategy. Nice race from Perez up to P4. Not great from Alonso waving to the crowd on the final lap. So Sainz 5th, Stroll will finish 6th, and Fernando Alonso will take P7 for Aston Martin. It's going to be Ocon P8. Now, Tsunoda's going to drop down a couple of positions outside the points. So it'll be Ocon P8. Zhou will end up 9th. Gasly will end up 10th. Shakira's in the garage. Shakira. Oh, Verstappen's dominated it, man. Right. I'm gonna rate the race. 10 out of 10? Nope. 9 out of 10? Nope. 8 out of 10? Nope. 7 out of 10? Nope. 6 out of 10? Nah. 5 out of 10? Nope. 4 out of 10? Nah. 3 out of 10? 2 out of 10? Crap. Oh, join me for Canada in 2 weeks' time when Formula One returns. That was awful. I tried to make the best out of it, but I'm gonna be real with you right now. That was tragically boring. I'm gonna get out in the sunshine, enjoy the rest of the day. That's enough television for me. That was awful. Good race for Mercedes. But yeah, Farhan, that was the equivalent of a 0-0 in football and no shots. It was a 0-0 with no shots on target, is what that was. But is what it is, isn't it? Aston Martin really needs to bounce back next race. Mercedes are coming alive. Yeah, man. Mercedes have done Aston Martin and Ferrari today, 2nd and 3rd. But yeah, guys, that's about it from me. If you have enjoyed the stream, please do drop me a like. It'll help out the channel. Join me again in 2 weeks' time for the Canadian Grand Prix. Should be a better race than this. Spain is never really a phenomenal race, is it? Let's be honest. But the Canadian Grand Prix has thrown some fantastic races at us over the years. So hopefully we're in for a much better race in Canada in 2 weeks. Until then, take care. Have a great day. Verstappen wins again. It's another dominating day for Red Bull and Verstappen. And Mercedes 2nd and 3rd. Good race for them. Clerk didn't even get in the points. Maybe he scraped a P10. I don't know, but yeah. To be fair, there was a lot of action in the midfield. You know, the likes of the Hasses and De Vries and all that. There was a lot of battles for P14, P12 and stuff, but not a lot of battles at the front. But that's all, guys. Yeah, catch you in 2 weeks for Canada. Peace out, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Please do drop me a like, subscribe if you're into Formula One. Peace out, guys. Thank you so much for watching the stream. See you later.